Hey guys, we're back. Drewski, back in action. Um, so last video I put up on one of my I'm streaming on Twitch, but I'm still gonna do that. But I feel like YouTube's maybe a better platform. I like having things that are archived, so I can actually go back and these will be archived. After Twitch they erase them after what 7 days or 14 days. I forget what it is. Um, so yeah, and it's two different things. You know what I mean? I just feel like it's jarring watching a, stream video, transferred over to YouTube. It's a whole different thing. You know what I mean? You're talking to like the people in your chat. It just has a disconnect to it, I think. So anyway, I'm recording this one just for this. I'm going to do some thumbnails. I'm excited to do some little thumbnails for my comic. I noticed that everything's backwards. My camera's a little so it's above me and looking down. I had to flip it. I had to flip it vertically to make it work. So I'm actually left-handed, but this is showing from the right. I'll have to figure out how to do that. There's a way I can adjust it. OBS, I'll have to look it up. But the only option I have is to flip it vertically. But in the camera settings for the actual app, it had me be able to flip it horizontally and vertically. You know what I mean? So it was the right way around. Because that's backwards up there, huh? Beast. I can't see it that well. Beast layers. So yeah, I'm going for a whole page. I'm going to do do some thumbnails of the Beast Slayers, the comic. I'm not like creating characters or anything like that. I'm just going to do the thumbnails, get some concepts going here. So hopefully it turns out all right. So let's see. Here we go. Yeah, this will be like I said, Beast Slayers. I was trying to get a topic. I was watching a YouTube video and someone had that suggestion of, to draw all different ones, like different panels for the comic. Just have one topic and obviously there's different ways to do it, but one topic and see what you can come up with. You may get a bunch of different panels, so that's what I'm going to do. So here we go. See how this goes. So make sure I keep it loose. Let's do a little stick guy up here. You know what? Let me zoom in on that panel. Zoom in on that panel. Hopefully it'll still look good. I just adjusted my settings, so I'm hoping it will come out well. Make it look a little bit better here. Oh, move that down. Okay. Yeah, I adjusted the settings. Still a little blurry, but I'm just gonna have to work with it for now. Okay, so let's work on this. So, I'm gonna write in here too an ideas. I'm trying to think of different ways to do this. So let's have him looking something like this, leaning like so. This arm out here to the right, or left arm sticking out, coming out here, and then having kind of twisted this way. Maybe his hips. Something like that. Maybe your shoulders It's twisted pretty good. Then have his arm coming out here, curving up around. Like he's gonna have his he's have his arm back, ready to slash with his sword there. This one will be coming out towards you. This leg. This one will be like kind of bent in the back. Maybe like he's ready to jump up on some, jump onto the beast or something and slash him. I'm not sure. Then let's have him standing up on. Could have him standing on. Maybe just like a little, some sort of. Put this back here a little bit higher. There we go. Looks better. Some sort of little ledge. Let's do one here. And one here. There we go. Let's put let's do double blades here. Maybe like a double stab. Just enough to get the idea across. Right, like that. And I was trying to think of different ways of, because this is fantasy comic. It's called Dravick. It's just the main character's name. That's what I'm calling it. I had a couple different names for it, but that's what it is for now. So I might have to just stick with it. That's what I put it as everywhere. So all my social media and stuff. Okay, so him has some sort of beast. I don't know if it's gonna be like an ogre or a troll. Let's see here. Let me think. Yeah, I'm trying to edit this video as much if I can. Trying to you know what? Let's draw it the way we're gonna draw that. He's coming this way. To the jump forward. Let's have him some monster thing. Be like this, right? Its head looking up, shoulders, trying to get the right perspective, somewhat. So not be exact, but this arm would be sort of like this, right? Come down in front of him. It's like it's hunched over, sort of like a gorilla or something. And then maybe in the back, this perspective's gonna be right, but I wanted to put like maybe some pillars and stuff back here, but I don't think my perspective's gonna be on. Yeah, I don't know what this is. this thing's coming from. That's flat. Let's see if we can do this. The perspective a little bit better. It's okay. The thumbnails though. I don't want to. I just need to relax here and stay, stay loose. I get too bogged down. So we'll just, for sake of ease. And this pillar is coming down this way, right? We'll just say it's broken just to put the perspective in it like this. Flat. That's okay. No, it's just light coming through there. Just put a little shading on that side. Give a little bit of depth, huh? Okay. That's good. It's just a good little idea. So he's like ready to pounce off of here and launch onto him. Okay, that's good for now. I keep look at him and the angle of him, but that's fine. It's not gonna perfectly fine. Just getting the ideas down. If you like one, and go with it. I think this one I'll do like a maybe this will be the opposite, right? Like him down here, the bigger down here character. And maybe let's see in that way. Maybe holding a torch. Call that a torch. Scribble that in. Okay. Be holding a torch. Maybe this hand, like right here, it's coming down into his hip, his waist. This sword, this hand in the handle of the sword. Right, grabbing it, getting ready to, in case something happens. I was gonna draw through it. I was reading that how to draw comics the Marvel way. It said draw through stuff. So like even if you have a character overlapping with a character or something like this, to draw through it. actually draw through it so you can see the lines and not just like stop here, you know what I mean? We can always erase later. Beautiful. Wait, this is supposed to be this path, right? So this is where I get stuck. It's 1 point, right? It all goes to 1 point. I'm trying to make that be the path. I don't want to go to the door. So draw this across here. So enter into there. So these are just, you know, basic ones. You know what I mean? I want these like group of beast slayers to be like, you have different, you know, specializations, like different weapons or stuff like that. I mean, so I don't just walk around with a sword. Like one with like a crossbow, one that has like a net, or like some kind of some sort of contraption, you know, where you can like catch stuff or hook something to the legs of the beast or something. I don't know. And yeah, this is like fantasy, but it's just my own thing. It's not like if you could mix it, I don't know what you'd call it. Mix between maybe some Lord of the Rings and some Berserk, but not that dark. Not that dark as Berserk like that. But, and maybe like Naruto or something like that, or you think of stuff like Torchlight, the game. I don't know. There's gonna be like it's fantasy, but it's not gonna be so like high fantasy if there's no technology. You know what I mean? There's gonna be like some like technology, and people live in this swamp area that used to be a battleground. Pretty much just got destroyed, and it's going to people there use like they have like rebreather masks and, you know, respirator masks and stuff. Yeah, so it's fantasy, but it's kind of like my own thing. You know, you think about like I would say another one, Avatar, Last Airbender. You know how in there, you know, it's real fantasy, and they have swords and all this stuff, and, you know, pretty primitive medieval type weapons, you know, or feudal, I guess, weapons. But then they have like those boats, you know, they fire nations like boats. They have like drills, and Earth Nation has those like little tank things. I like that. So I just want it to be, you know, this will be something my own design here. Stuff that I think is cool and enjoy, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm excited to be doing this. Even if they don't come out perfect, I mean, I don't care. I'm just glad. I'm already pretty happy with this. But yeah, I want these there's like these groups of these beast slayers, you know what I mean, that go out and hunt beasts, and there's just one city where they live above the ground because it's really dangerous down below, and there's like beast hunter groups, you know. So like, you know, dudes with a crossbow, dude with maybe tranquilizer stuff, you know, dude that has maybe some kind of, you know, stun, like smoke bomb type things. I'm trying to think how to have the light. So the light, just for the heck of it. His head's a little too big. Let's fix his head size. Square him up a bit. There we go. Right, shoulder. Let's just shade this area. I think this whole back would probably be pretty much dark. Maybe the side of his face, maybe a tiny little strip on the left, just to light here, right? Yeah, let's erase some of these. There we go. Alright, with his hand. So far, it's a good little start here. He's holding the sheath, so put his thumb over there. Look at that detail. Cool. Yeah, I'd have to go and, you know, put the light in there. Okay, so next, let me think. I'm trying to really brainstorm here and think of. I had an idea before I started this, and I was going to write it on here, and I forgot. I remember what it was. Besides just, you know, the typical. Whoops. I didn't realize I was that low. Besides just the typical, you know, guy running at him with a sword or something. Oh, I was just talking about the Slayers, so let's write them down. I was just talking about it. Let's write some stuff. Let's go with Beast Slayers. Okay. Weapons. Maybe some sort of smoke bomb or something. Maybe a flash, kind of magical, like flash grenade, like a flash bomb, you know. Flash bomb, blind the monster so they can get the advantage on it. Yeah, so they can, if they blind it, you know, it's this giant thing. They're trying to whack it with their hammer, you know, or a little dagger. You know, it works. So, yeah, something that's huge can wipe out a whole, you know, one swipe of its tail, depending on the size of it, you know, or its arm could wipe out your whole crew. So I could blind it. Flash bomb. What else did I say? Like sounds funny, but like a net gun or something. Some kind of net thing. Net launcher. I don't know. Spitballing. You know, so when they capture it, they can. Think about that. Oh, it's not haul. They don't haul it back. I guess they could just take part of it to show that the contract's done, and then they use the rest of it for, you know, armor, weapons, whatever. What else? Crossbow. That's pretty basic. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you know what? I guess every single one doesn't have to have a beast in it, huh? I don't want to draw them straight on. I'm gonna do one guy like that. Real quick. Hate to just draw them straight on. Maybe, let's think here. This is pretty cool. One of the Beast Slayer guys. Let's give him some. What's his belt? I'm trying to think what I was doing. Oh, let's do this. You know, it's so funny because I had that call, you know, and like you're on there and you don't even think about it. And like I wasn't even thinking. I was just, you have to turn your brain like halfway off. That's how I feel anyway. I overanalyze all this stuff, and I get all thinking, you know, oh, it doesn't look good or this or that, whatever. So that's just for me, it's the best way to do it. Kind of half shut your brain off. Look at this little armor, how nice it came out. Came really well. And I wasn't thinking about it. I'll just put one thing here. One little, what do you call it? Lom or lame? I don't know if it's called that at the hips. I think that's what they're called, lames, something. Yeah, it's cool. There's a little backpack. A little adventure pack. Sword here. I want to have like a guy that has like, you know, you ever see, I always love that card. You ever see Yu-Gi-Oh card? Like the hunter with 7 weapons? I love that thing. The dude just has like, obviously 7 weapons, but he has all those weapons on his back. Looks really cool. So I'd like to draw something like that. You know, one of the hunters. It's bigger, you know what I mean? And have like, you know, sheaths everywhere, and, you know, 2 daggers and 2 swords, an axe, a mace, you know. Obviously you couldn't, it's not realistic, but who cares? It's not what I'm, just for fun. Okay. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. But it's plain, right? Need the background. If you give him a little helmet, huh? I look at reference. I don't know if I can just draw one off the bat. Yeah, I probably can. It's really small. I think these are like 2 by 1.5 inch, so they're pretty tiny. What do we do here? Where would the... I'm trying to think where like the, you know, horizon line would be. Let's put it back here. Yeah, I don't want to draw him in the middle either. I think it looks better with him like that. Like the rule of thirds, I guess, you know, off to the side so he's not directly centered in the page. Some little mountains here, keep them real simple. Then I start going into all these little ridges, and I'm like, nah, don't do that. There's some back here behind it, the big one up here coming off this paper. I'm not sure those are too big or not. We're not gonna put grass because that's far back, so you wouldn't see the grass sticking up on it. Just be kind of flat because it'd fade out as it goes out the back here. And rocks coming up or something. All right. Pebbles. I'd like to put something cool in the background, you know, like some kind of fantasy thing. I don't want to just be normal. You know, I want to be like very fantastical, almost like a, you know, I don't know if to say fairy tale, but like an old fable. I want the something. I don't know if that even is the right term, but where it's just you know, spires that come on. You know, a fantasy, actual, you know, high. Is that called high fantasy? You know, fantasy world. You know, where it's comes up and like spires, like these like things that come up. I don't know if you call it a spire, but like a rock thing that comes up. You think of like those big tall rocks that you see in Dragon Ball, and Gohan's training, Piccolo's training him, and he's out in the wilderness by himself. But them big like rocks just like shoot straight up out of the ground. Want like a big one of that with the city built up on it for the dangerous areas. Okay, that's pretty cool. It also looks something. Those are mountains, right? So sometimes getting the size of stuff would be difficult. I think it's all difficult, but it's just me. Be like a little. Put here. I'm gonna put like some weird obelisk stone thing or something. I don't know. That's too tall though. It's the mountains. That has to be big. That's like big as the mountain to make it that big. Maybe just some like little weird markings on it. Oh, you know what? Maybe even have like this obelisk here, and then just this stone, another piece of it. Just thought of this right now. Another piece of it, like floating over top. It's more like magical, mystical looking, No one knows how it. Nobody in this world knows how they got like that, They're just these ancient, like little relics. Little floating things. Okay. Whoops. Sorry about that. Not a bad start. About 40 minutes. That's good. I'm pretty happy with that. That's 40 minutes. 15 minutes. I know people do thumbnails in 2 seconds, but I like to have a little more to them. Obviously, there's more than one way to do it. I don't really care anybody else does stuff. Well, certain things, you have to learn, because I've been studying anatomy and fundamentals. Obviously, you have to certain ways to do that, but yeah. So what I'm working on now is doing the fundamentals. I'm doing anatomy and obviously gesture drawing, but I've been doing only that, right? So this is what I'm doing this for, is I'm trying to do like 2 days of that instead of only doing that, because I was like obsessed with just doing just the gestures, And I was thinking about it, I'm like, well, I could break it down, do gesture for 2 days. Or I draw I draw every day of the week, so I draw 7 days a week. Every once in a while I'll take a day off, but I've been drawing like crazy. Trying to keep the momentum, even if it's one day, I don't have as much time, I sit down for at least an hour, you know what I mean? Or just something, get a couple ideas out. But anyway, my whole goal is to, while I'm working on it, try to put some of it into practice. That's what I was doing here, I was looking at that, how to draw Marvel the comics way, the Andrew Loomis head method, Vern Hogarth, what's the other guy everyone talks about for the book, the anatomy book, George Bridgman here. So I got his book. Gosh, I'm on my chair, it's squeaking. But yeah, so I've been working on that, anatomy, and drawing Marvel comics the Marvel way. So I'm trying to put that, do a couple days of, 2 days of that, and then try to put into practice, or even do that for a couple hours in one day, and then try to put it into practice. But I really want to get these thumbnails. I've been doing this comic for entirely too long, and I'd say it's a labor of love, but I just get bogged down in all this details and all this stuff, and trying to world build, and there's like some fear, worried about this, worried about that. And I've been watching Tim McBurney. Check him out. His channel is awesome if you don't know, but man, he breaks down all this stuff with illustrations, and how he actually goes through. I was watching one called Lion Rider. He's doing an entire illustration from beginning to start. It's like 3.5 hours long, so he's not cutting any of it. He's just doing the whole video. There's one about that. I'm trying to look at character design ones, thumbnail ones, and he's been professional artist for 20 years. So doing thumbnail, a lot of really interesting ideas about breaking down. He just said, a good way to learn is to do a large project and you learn as you go, because I just feel like that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep saying, oh, once I get to this point, I'll draw it. Once I get to this point, I'll draw it. When you look at comics like One Punch Man or Attack on Titan, even Dragon Ball, but they got better as they went. Dragon Ball, I'm not saying got better, they just got more, I guess, buff. Kind of went from a comedy thing. But anyways, to a more serious show. But point is, you know, if I keep doing that, I'm never going to start it. So I was like, I just need to just start, keep doing my fundamentals, practice them, right? Even if I start with doing a couple, you know, gesture drawings for a half hour or something a day. David Finch said, he said, try to do 30 minutes every time you draw a gesture drawing. It's a good way to keep your, you know, constantly keep them, don't ever stop doing the fundamentals, basically. Anyways, okay, anyone who tuned in, thanks. I really hope you enjoyed it. And feel free to draw with me. Any suggestions? I'm really hoping people come on this journey with me and creating my first comic. I'm doing this since I was about 7 years old, so 7 or 8, around there. So yeah, God bless you guys, and if you're interested, I have a Patreon. Any supports help. You know, I have small, lower tiers, $2, $5, whatever you want to do. Anyways, or just like, you know what to do. It's YouTube. I'm not going to tell you like and subscribe. You know what to do. But yeah, yeah. Feel free to come in and stop in and comment and all that other stuff. So thanks, guys. Take care. Drewski out.